Hey, today we're going to talk about how to get the forms to create your LLC for free in Oklahoma as our example today. I'm Angie Hooper from Angie Hooper Coaching and Happy at Law. And one of the things that makes me a little bit crazy is when people pay for things that are available for free because the government provides it for everybody. So I'm going to show you how to get your LLC formation document for free from the state, and you don't need to pay somebody else to type that up for you. All right, so before we get to that, let me just give you a little bit of who I am and why you want to listen to me on this. I've had over 20 years on the front lines of the legal profession. I'm an attorney licensed in a couple of states. I'm a fractional GC. I have done just about every kind of business transaction that you can imagine, big mergers and acquisitions, small purchases of family businesses, and kind of everything in between. Procurement, service contracts, IT stuff. It's a crazy bingo card. And along the way, one of the things that I'm really passionate about is helping entrepreneurs and people who just want to be better at getting access to legal services, right? So I'm an entrepreneur myself. I'm a certified professional coach and a performance dynamic specialist. So that's my background that I'm bringing to help you be a smarter, better consumer of legal services, right? Because when you are a better client and when you have the ability and the confidence and the information to ask better questions and manage your lawyer in a really efficient way, you get better service from those professionals. So before we jump in, because I am licensed in a couple of states to practice law, I have to specify that this is for educational purposes only. This is to help you become a better client and more confident and self-sufficient in taking care of your legal stuff for your business, right? So we're not creating any kind of attorney-client relationship here. And really, you should always consider whether the situation is one that you need to get specific legal or tax advice for, right? That's always a good idea to think through that and get that advice where it's appropriate. All right, so let me show you how you find this form, and we're going to use today Oklahoma as our example. So the first thing you're going to do is go into your browser and just type Oklahoma, or whatever state you're wanting to use to create your LLC, Secretary of State forms, right? You can see there's actually a lot of stuff available if you just go off of the Google search suggestions. All right, so the one that we want is going to be the website that has a couple of attributes. Just in case you're looking at doing this in a state other than Oklahoma, here's what you're looking for. You're looking for a .gov email, or sorry, a .gov website address. You're also looking for one that has SOS in the web address. Now, SOS stands for Secretary of State. All states have a Secretary of State who is the agency that creates and maintains the records around businesses that are in that state. So you're looking for the Secretary of State website for the state where you want to form your LLC. So let's go to Oklahoma as our example. So you can see actually that here in Oklahoma, there are some options here to choose from. We're going to form a domestic Oklahoma limited liability company. Now, foreign and domestic for this purpose don't mean what they would normally mean. They have a really specific technical meaning here. Domestic corporation means one that's formed and does business in this state, right? So domestic for the Oklahoma Secretary of State means Oklahoma limited liability companies and Oklahoma corporations. If you were going to form your LLC or corporation in a different state, let's say it was going to be a Texas LLC or a Delaware LLC, then that would be a foreign LLC in Oklahoma. Does that make sense? All right, so we're going to create a Domestic Oklahoma Limited Liability Company. You can see here the fees for filing this document that we're going to create are going to be right here up front. So the way this works is they're going to give us a chance to fill out the form here, and the Oklahoma Secretary of State is actually going to generate the form for us. So what we want to do is create the articles of organization for an Oklahoma limited liability company. So that's this one right here. Now, you might be wondering, what's the difference between this first one, Oklahoma Limited Liability Company, and the one that says professional? That's usually for professional practices, right? So doctors, lawyers, accountants, that kind of thing. That's not going to be most people. Most people who are small business entrepreneurs, single member LLC, right? Like it's just you want to create a limited liability company to be the business and you're going to be the only owner. You're looking for this first one right here. So we can either click on the PDF and get a version that you can print and fill out. And if you watch the video about how to do this for Texas, this is similar to the way Texas does it. There's instructions and then a form you can fill out with your information. But let's hop back to, and the first thing we need to do is check and see if the name of our business is available. So this is where you're going to type in the name of your awesome business, right? Now, notice here that your name of your business must include those 3 letters LLC or limited liability company all written out, or limited company, right? Like that's your way of telling the world when they deal with your business that your business is set up to have limited liability, right? So it's kind of just like a fair warning, right? That's part of the name. Now, you're going to have to, you're going to type this name a lot. Every time you do a contract, every time you fill out a form for a bank, every time you do terms and conditions or do some official paperwork for your business, you're going to type out exactly what's in this box. So long time ago, back in the dark ages when I first started practicing, it was really common to have punctuation between these letters, right? Because it's an abbreviation. That's kind of the old way of doing it, because over time, people realized you didn't really need that punctuation in order to convey what you needed to communicate with the name of the business. And it's kind of a pain to type all of that. So you're going to check and see if that name's available. And my goodness, it is. Okay. And then you're going to type in what you want and hit next. Now, I'll just show you guys. Here's the name of my business. This is public record. You could go out there and find it if you wanted to. Here's what a name search looks like when it's similar to other names, right? So let's say we were going to try and form a business called Amazon, right? So we type that in, we do our name search, we come up with some options. So then we can decide, do we want to add something to our name, or are we happy with that the way it is? All right. So once you have your name decided, and give this a little bit of thought, think about what you want it to be, because it is possible to change it in the future, but it's kind of a pain and it costs money. So think about it before you hit next. Here, you're just going to tell the Secretary of State, do you want your LLC to be created as of the time you turn in the form and pay the filing fee, or do you want it to be some date in the future? So where this is going to come up is if you want to wait till the start of the year. Let's say you're looking at doing this in the fall of the calendar year, and you want your LLC to be created as of January 1st, so you have that one complete year, you would specify a date and put that date here. But we're just going to say filing date for our example. And then you're going to tell the Secretary of State where you're going to be. So hang on while I type in some secret stuff. Okay, so you typed in your address and you hit next. Then you're going to be asked whether you want this company to have perpetual existence or non-perpetual duration, right? So what you're telling the Secretary of State is, do you want this to be a company that has an expiration date or not? If you don't want it to have an expiration date, you're going to leave it on perpetual. So you're going to put that and fill out this form here, and then you're going to hit next. So hang on while I type in some secrets. All right, then you have a chance to add attachments if you want to. You probably won't have any, but if you do, here's where you attach them. You just upload it. And if you don't have anything, you click next. All right, the signature list is who's filing these articles of organization, right? So it could just be one person. If you're doing this for yourself and you're a single member, you're going to be the only owner of the LLC, then you're going to just type in your name and then you're going to hit insert signature. So hang on while I do secret stuff. All right, so once you've typed in your name for the signature and hit submit, you'll get instructions on how to pay the filing fee. And that's it. Once you've submitted your form and you've paid your fee, then you'll get a certificate that says your LLC exists. And congratulations, you are now the owner of an LLC.